beneath the trees where nobody sees.
Greetings, this is Beneath the Trees Zero. This video is intended for certain brown supremacists that I've had the privilege of talking to in a certain part of YouTube. You know who you are. Now, many of you have been saying that whites should go back to Europe. Well, even if we wanted to go back to Europe, I don't think that's feasible. Let's look at Europe's size compared to that of the continental United States. First off, Europe is roughly the same size as the United States, as you can see here. Now let's look at the size of European countries compared to certain states of the United States. For example, the UK is the size of Florida, Ireland the size of New York State, and Spain of California. Let's look at the 2001 population densities of Europe. Bear in mind that the population density of the United States is 77 per square mile. Now let's look at, now I had a look at some of the data regarding the population densities of all European countries. And what I found was this. With the exception of Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, and Estonia, every country in Europe has a higher population density than does the United States. All, with the exception of Latvia, have a 3-digit population density. The smallest countries, as you might expect, have the highest population densities. The top 5 are Malta with 3,157, San Marino 1,166, Netherlands at 1,018, Belgium at 872, and the UK at 635. Oh, and let's look at Ireland too. Its population density is almost twice that of the United States, being at 142 compared to the United States 77. As for Spain, although it might not look like it here, that country's population density is almost 3 times that of the United States. Spain's population density being 204. As for the European countries whose population densities are the same or lesser than the United States, let's look at them right now. Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, and Estonia. Those are the countries in Europe whose population densities are equal to or less than that of the United States. And notice how all of them are situated at the subarctic. Iceland has the same climate as Anchorage, Alaska, and is cut in half by the Eurasian plate. Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Estonia do not have warm summers at all. As you might expect, because they're so close to the Arctic Circle, they're relatively cold, especially to the rest of Europe. It's really no wonder why such countries have population densities equal to or less than the United States. And let's look at another obstacle to living in Europe. Acid rain, coastal pollution, river pollution, all that makes living in 4 of the 5 said countries even less pleasant. See for yourself. So in conclusion, us Anglos can't go back to Europe, even if we wanted to, because number one, Europe is roughly the size as the United States. But each country is roughly the size of a United States state. Number 2, almost all the European countries have very high population densities, and where population densities are smaller, we have subarctic climates and pollution. So, as you might imagine, The Anglos ain't going anywhere. You're stuck with us. Deal with it. Peace.